Statesman Nation, we're here with Mike Laird, head baseball coach here at William Penn, as we prepare for the 2019 season. It is really cold outside, but hopefully Oklahoma's warmer this weekend. But
yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't mention that.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get right into the season this week. You just never know with Mother Nature. But Coach, let's before we get into talking about this year's team, let's recap last year a little bit and everything, and then we'll get right into this year.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. We didn't get it done a lot last year. We had a lot of close games we couldn't finish. We didn't finish, and it was kind of a pretty frustrating year actually. And so we found ways to not maybe manufacture a run or to lose a lead. It seemed like the sixth inning killed us last year. Some of that was bullpen, some of it wasn't, but nonetheless, we're going to do a better job this year, and I think we've got some guys in here that are going to help us do that.
Definitely. That segues right into recruiting. I know every year recruiting's a big deal, always is. You always want to improve the team from the last year, but I know you guys were extremely busy on the recruiting paths, so just talk about that for a second.
First and foremost, you can say what you want to say about nice guys on the team or guys that and that's good. I mean, you want that type of culture obviously too, but you got to have athletes to win. And baseball might not be quite as obvious as a sport like basketball or football or track. Who's faster, that kind of thing, but it still counts a lot, for getting stuff done, especially late in the ball game. I think that culture, that part of the athletic culture is quite a bit enhanced this year, and that was one of my goals when, before the year was over. We had to get better.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about those pitchers first. They're the ones that touch the ball every time. So,
I've got brought several guys in, and we've got I think we had a real good recruiting year, and it's a good mix. We've got some good transfers. We've also got some freshmen that I feel are going to make an immediate impact, which is kind of unusual on this level. If you look at NAIA baseball, you don't see a lot of freshmen that have a chance to jump into the varsity. But we've got three pitchers back that I would say are going to factor into the varsity. One of them is Barnett, Bruns, and Boyd. Boyd threw a lot last year as a starter. Bruns threw, he threw here and there. I think he started about 4 or 5 games. And then Barnett, Trent has been here for 4 years from Eddyville, and he's kind of a good, possible closer, one-inning guy. He's got a heck of a nice slider and stuff. But obviously those are the 3 seniors that are going to factor in, I think, to the team or to the staff.
Sure.
Got some other guys, juniors that came in, Lionel Colon, Chase Stratton, Alec Myers. All of those guys could, especially Stratton and Colon, are going to factor into being weekend starters more than likely, and they're pretty good. So Myers has had some health issues, some injury issues, and he could be one of those guys too. Aside from that, there are a lot of freshmen that are, and this is one thing that I'm really happy about. We were able to get, like I said, athletes that are versatile. We didn't have a lot of that. If we did have somebody injured, it was really tough to fill in and try and make up for that last year. We've got a lot of guys this year that are kind of multiple position guys, and some of them pitch, and some of them are freshmen. So I think we're going to see something I haven't seen. I don't even know when.
Yeah.
But we've got a possibility of about 4 freshmen pitching some for us. So and also a couple other guys that are utility players that are juniors that came in are going to factor into the staff. So if you look at numbers, there's maybe 13, 14 guys we're looking at seriously, but they can also play positions, some of them.
Right. Names on those freshmen.
Okay.
Just because they're brand new, nobody has
Well,
anything to do with it.
Tanner Badir stands out.
Yeah.
He's an all-state player from Bondurant Farrar, lefty. Very, very good player. He's got a chance to start in the outfield as well, but he's got very good stuff. He's a guy that he's gonna throw some varsity innings, period. And but he's also going to factor into the outfield. He's a good all-around player. Jared Hunt will likely start at first base. He will start at first base. He's an all-region player from Scenic West Conference, and he also throws from the left side, mostly relief, but he's a very good player. Stetson Denning, who's a freshman, good arm, could play some shortstop. Likely won't be in there a lot as a freshman at shortstop, but he's got a decent enough arm and he's a competitor. He could factor in some innings on the varsity. Corey Vollmer from Texas. Corey's got a good arm, and he's aggressive and he's a confident guy. I mean, for a freshman, I mean, there's some guys there that are actually going to throw some innings. Jalen Jones from Ottumwa, good two-way guy. Real good defensive player on the infield. He really gets it, like they have that competitive nature that I think at times I felt like we were lacking last year, to finish games and the no excuse type attitude. So we've really enhanced our team, I think, that way. So also Zach Edgar, who's another could play a lot of shortstop. He's very versatile, could play outfield. He's just a good all-around athlete, and he can pitch as well.
Right. So
he's from Elgin Junior College over in Illinois.
Other side of the battery, got a couple returning catchers. Looks like a new guy as well. So let's talk about them.
Yeah, Ball is back. Ball started most of the games last year for us. He took a little fall hiatus with football,
right.
So he wasn't with us in the fall. But he's worked his way back in, and he fits in really well. Good leadership skills. And for a big guy, he can run. He can do some things like that most guys that weigh 220 pounds don't do that well.
Right.
Jimmy Blake is somebody too that might may not catch a lot, but he might factor into the DH role, but he's also a senior. And then Anthony Huggins, who's a sophomore, and he's a good athlete, he's a good player. He's got a good chance to catch quite a bit, along the ball. So, primarily those guys.
Right, definitely. Middle infield, since that's what you got next on the list. So.
Middle infield, again, Zach Edgar has got if he starts it, he could start it short. If he doesn't, he can play. He can play a number of places, and he can help us pitching. So Edgar's there. A guy named Adrian Garcia is a heck of a good player. More than likely he'll hit leadoff for us and play second base. Very, very quick. Gets on base. Just a really gets it type guy. Real serious about playing the game and doing the right things. Boston Romero is another real good player. Good chance of him starting at shortstop. Hits from the left side. Real good player. He gets it. They get it. And then, you always say, well, what's it? I'm not quite sure, but
but it's there, right?
Oh, yeah, it's there this year. And then Stetson Denning, the freshman, I said they'll pitch a little bit. He's kind of in the mix, too. He's a good player. Okay. So, mostly those guys.
Sure. Corner guys.
Corner guys, Ricebeck is back, the senior, and he was Gold Glove guy last year. Ricebeck's still Ricebeck, I mean, we ended up having to hit him because out of frustration and a little bit for guys getting on base sometimes. Last year we put him in a leadoff spot because he's hitting 360, and we needed somebody to get on, so hopefully we could get a run or two in early, and he did an adequate job there, and he continued to hit well. But defense is his big thing too. I mean, he's a good defensive player. He will also, by the way, be pitching a little bit this year. Ricebeck can pitch. I forgot to mention him. So he's definitely a good solid player for us. A guy named Dominic Bravo, strong kid, really strong kid. He's more, I shouldn't say kid. He's a man.
Yeah.
And real good arm, real good defense. He can play either corner position. We may have him. Decent chance we may start him out in right field because we've got Seth and we've got Hunt maybe at first base. But he can come in and play those 2 spots as good as anybody, and he will be counted on for a big RBI year from him. Hunt, again, Jared Hunt. Hunt's just a heck of a good player, all-around player. Keeps his head. He can play first with the best of them. Got a good glove, and like I said, he can relief pitch from the left side. And then Jalen Jones at third. Real good glove, real good aggressive. Through the ball and stuff like that. He's a good player, Dumble kid. So Worcester's got a chance. He's a senior. He's a kind of a utility guy for us. Nick has been here 4 years now. Good speed. He had a pretty good year, especially the last half last year. He's got a chance to play some in there. He could fill in the middle too, but likely he'll be playing some outfield.
Right.
So, and another guy named Cassian Castillo. He's a junior. Got a lot of fast twitch. This kid can really run, and he's got a little pop too. But he could play infield, but he'll likely be in the outfield running some balls down for us.
All right, let's talk about those outfielders.
Okay, this guy, his uncle helped me coach, Dick Spees, and so he was looking to transfer from Jackson State, and he did. We got him in here. I'd talked to him a couple times previously, when he was out of high school and then out of junior college, but he's a heck of a player. He's probably going to be in center field. Big lefty that can really, really run, and he can hit it. And so he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Blaze Spees, by the way.
Yeah, they named him appropriately.
Yes,
I don't
right.
know how they predicted that.
Exactly.
Right out of the womb, but they did. But he can run.
Yeah.
And Tanner Badier's got a real good chance to start in the outfield, that freshman. And can't say enough about him. I mean, he's a very mature kid, and he's a very good athlete, very good player. Bravo, like I said, may be in right field, but Bravo can play several places. Zach Edgar, as I said, mentioned him, in the shortstop and pitching. He can also play
just
out
fit a
there.
little everywhere, right?
He started in center field last year at Elgin. I think he was their starting shortstop as a freshman. So he's a good player.
Yeah.
Another freshman that can run a little bit, we like him, is Jackson McLean from Minnesota. He's got good wheels. And so anyway, that kind of rounds out most of the guys. Raheem Hampton, still a little kind of in the mix, maybe for DH a little bit right now. Probably won't be at first though.
Yeah, I feel like just listening to you a little bit, maybe Dominic Bravo might be another DH possibility.
No, he'll be in the lineup.
Okay.
Defensively,
yeah.
He can hit. He throws very, very well. From the outfield, from right field, corner infield. No, Bravo will definitely be out there somewhere.
Yeah,
I just don't know where he may be our 4-hitter.
Right.
He's going to be.
Yeah, it was like you were saying RBIs all over with him, so I was thinking, okay, he's got to fit in somewhere, but I wasn't sure exactly where he was.
He'll be out there. He'll be out
Gotcha.
there.
Definitely. All right, let's get into talking about the schedule a little bit, and non-conference schedule, and talk about conference and wrap her up.
Okay, we, as you know, and you indicated, we're going to be going down to Oklahoma right away. We leave in just a couple days, and weather looks reasonable down there, I think. So hopefully we'll get 4 games.
We get past the Arctic blast here of southern Iowa, and I think I think you're fairly good.
I haven't seen anything like this for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
25 to 60 years. It depends on who you talk to
Right,
and listen to. It's that bad. But anyway, it looks like we've got a good chance to play down there. And so we need to get down and play. We need to get out of the indoor facility. It's a good indoor facility, but there's only so many practices, before people start clawing each other's eyes out and stuff. So, but that'll be good. And then we're going back down there the second weekend. Not to the same school, but we're going back down to Oklahoma again, back-to-back weekends. Then we're in Joplin, Missouri for back-to-back weekends, the third and fourth weekends in March for kind of tournaments down there. And there's some very good teams coming in there before we get to our conference, which starts March 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2nd.
Yeah, thing with conference, it's just so much longer than it used to be, and you just get right into it. So there's not a lot of opportunity. I mean, you'll get hopefully maybe 15 games in before you get into conference, but once you get conference in, Just bang bang, pretty much for the rest of the year.
Pretty much. It's 9 weekends, and I mean, good grief. That's everybody's got an off weekend, so you've got to get some non-conference scheduled in there when that off weekend comes up, which we've done. We do have a few more home non-conference games. We're fortunate to get some of those filled in, which we, play so many games on the road in baseball. We play, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 70% of our games on the road every year. And if statistics are correct, which they generally bear out every year, if two teams are equally talented, the home team should win about 2-1 over the visitors. So that's challenging to go on these big, 15, 20 game win streaks. It just doesn't happen in baseball very often.
You got to take advantage of,
especially if you're a team that's traveling on the road.
Try to get it home as much as possible for sure. Let's talk about the conference. You've got Central Methodist, the returning champions, a team that is expected to once again repeat, but Clark's up there. The likes of I think Mid-American, Nazarene, maybe not Mid-Am. Peru State, Grandview are up there, a whole bunch of other teams. I mean, it's kind of one of those situations, like a lot of sports, in the heart that there's no easy games, so you're just going to have to. And we're picked way down. Maybe rightfully so off of last year, but
Yes.
There's a chance for us to definitely be the dark horse.
I voted us higher than that.
But you've seen your team, and nobody else has. So.
But we, then again, we haven't played a game with this group of guys. But I'm pretty sure we're better than where they picked us, and that's fine.
That means nothing.
It's better to be kind of that snake in the grass, and if you get it together, then everybody's happy. But Clark's very good. Clark is loaded, and them and Central Methodist talent levels, a lot of Division I guys, a lot. And so those two teams are going to, Clark in the north, Central Methodist in the south. I like Grandview a lot this year too. I mean, we had 3 extremely close games. Probably 2 or 3 of them we could have or should have won and didn't last year, which was very disappointing. But he's got some really good players that came in. They got some really good guys back. So I think Lou's going to be pretty darn good. Peru State, they're loaded again. Peru State's really good. Mount Mercy's good in our division. That turf facility and that area that they recruit around Cedar Rapids is, it's a magnet almost for some players, and they're going to be pretty good. So. And that leaves us in Culver Stockton and Graceland, the rest of the north. But I really do, and I think that the north is maybe a little bit tougher than the south, and I think a lot of other coaches might agree with that. I don't know that some of the south coaches would agree with it, but it's pretty darn good. It really is, and there's not one. Of course, every coach says there's not one team that's you can't beat, that stuff. But it really is, top to bottom, it's pretty darn good.
Definitely. As far as, just pulling it all together this year with a lot of new guys, but it sounds like there's a lot of new guys, as you said, get it this year, just kind of have that it factor. What's it take to turn that it factor into victories at the end of the year, or as the year progresses?
Good question. We have to do, and I've said this all along every year, I'm the same guy that's been here for a long time. The thing that changes a lot, and the game doesn't change that much, unless there's rule changes or something like that, but the game of baseball itself is still the game of baseball, and you've got to be able to do certain things to be successful. One of them's first pitch strikes. Pitchers have to buy in, hey, I can't get too crafty early, we got to do that. First pitch strikes. Another thing is make the routine plays. We don't ask I never ask guys to make just great plays. Once in a while somebody makes a great play, and that's great, when it happens. But you can't expect that. But we can expect them to make the routine plays. And third thing, which we have not done a very good job of the last 2 years, some of this is part of the buying in and getting it part I was talking about, and that is situational hitting. you get an opportunity with the guy on second base to get him over to third with one out. There's where you score runs.
Yep.
Third base, one out, you score a lot. And instead of taking that, double gluteus swing and hit a 140-foot fly ball pop up, trying to get big on something, buy in.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think we've made a significant improvement athletically, and also from the standpoint, I don't think there's going to be a lot of excuses with these guys. I think there were, to be honest about it, there were quite a few excuses the last year or two. And but you got to do the right things. Make the routine play, first pitch strike, situational hitting, get it done. Hit the ball the right side, get the bunt down, look for something up over the plate. Sacrifice, fly a guy home. Situational. It's 0-2. You got a different swing.
Right.
There's 2 outs. There's a different swing. Or you have a different mind thought on execution. So I think these guys get it, and that's big. I mean, when you're playing a lot of close games, you do those things, you win more.
One run's going to matter, for sure. Well, best of luck, Coach. It sounds like it's going to be an interesting year to see if we can put all those pieces together, but it starts this week. See if we can, Mother Nature will cooperate, which I think she will down in Oklahoma, and move forward, and let's just get the guys on the field, see what they can do. So
yeah, let's have a good year. Let's have some fun this year.
I
think that's what everybody wants to do. We want to have some fun, win some games, and have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks.